With this, essentially, I'm trying to keep box. 2 complement like a heavier kettlebell or a sandbag movement. So the mill works on shoulder rotation, the snatch pretty much the same. Then this shoulder bump to upside down catch. Here, my forearms are. Hello. So it's another day. Clearly, I haven't been keeping up with my upload schedule, but today is as good a day as any to record a video. The gym recently got a bunch of new equipment, and I'm putting a lot of that to use today, so I thought I might as well make a video. And yeah, I do want to keep uploading stuff, so as you can see from my shirt, I've already been working out for a while, and then I made a spur of the moment decision to kind of record all of this crap. In any case, it's Sunday, I think December 14th, and yeah, so I'm doing a circuit style workout today. Initially, going to start off with some sled movements and then some of the other stuff. I'll just kind of talk through it as I'm doing it. So, starting off with reverse sled drags. If you guys have been following along over the past couple of videos, I've been doing a lot of resistance band uh, sled drags because the elastic feedback from uh, the resistance band seems to give me a lot more like of a constant tension feeling as I'm doing the reverse sled, which kind of tends to keep the tension on the quads. Then going to do forward sled drags. So pretty much the same setup, but doing it opposite. Focusing on driving through my toes, activating the muscles in my toes, and also the quads, or not the quads, the calves. But also the quads are activated, but mostly with the forward drag, I feel it a lot more in my glutes, and then with the reverse, I feel it in my quads. Then onto the ski machine. So this is a new addition to the gym. With this, essentially, I'm trying to keep a high-ish pace of about 155 or above and keep it going for 45 seconds. The full body movement. Feel my legs, lats, and abs get activated. Then, with two 32 kilogram, 70-pound kettlebells, going to do gorilla rows for 8 each side. And then on the treadmill, going to do 1 minute backward, So as you can see, it's a pretty long, drawn out circuit with a lot of elements. But essentially, I'm trying to pick movements where a certain, like with a, for example, the sled was primarily lower body. The ski machine is more upper body, and then the rows are more upper body too. Then going back into the lower body with backwards walking, and then what's about to come. And then I'm going to end off with the sandbag, which tends to be a full body movement. And so by kind of spreading the workload around, I'm able to maintain constant activity uh, while having a resistance element to it. So I keep my heart rate high for an extended period of time without having to take breaks, and then also have a resistance component, which uh, people say the main reason they don't do cardio or whatever is because they don't want to lose muscle mass. But if a resistance component is part of your cardio, then you don't have to worry about that so much. Then forward walk for another minute, and then I'm going to finish off with a 30-second sprint. So this treadmill is kind of new too. So usually that's the treadmill that I would use, and it has like a more of a curvature. So yeah, just something kind of unique about it. All right, approaching 2 minutes and full sprint. And then finishing off with sandbags. So we're gonna do 8 sandbag to box. Using the 150-pound bag for that one. So yeah, that was set 8. I'm gonna do 2 more sets for 10 total, and then on to the next thing. So for the next set of movements, starting off with the sandbag, I'm just doing 2 movements right now. 10 circuits of the previous set of movements was quite exhausting. I was actually doing quite a bit of stuff before that in like a warm-up sense. So just overall, like I've already done quite a bit of volume. So I'm not doing an exaggerated or a long circuit. It's just going to be a superset. So using the 150-pound sandbag to do over the shoulder throws. Doing 3 reps on each side. So for those of you who've been following along, if you've watched my first couple of sandbag videos, you know that the 150-pound bag didn't move this fluidly when I first started. So as I've spent more time with it, my body's gotten stronger, I've become more familiar with the technique. And I also feel my body like adapting in quite a unique way. Like my muscles in the core seem or feel a lot thicker and a lot more rigid ever since doing more sandbag training. Then with a 15-pound kettlebell, doing a flowy movement. So starting with the kettlebell upside down to an inside mill to outside snatch, then into shoulder rack, then I don't know what that movement is called, and then to an upside down kettlebell shoulder press and repeat. It's a nice little flowy movement to complement like a heavier kettlebell or a sandbag movement. So the mill works on shoulder rotation, the snatch pretty much the same. Then this shoulder bump to upside down catch. Here my forearms are activated, shoulder stabilizers are activated to maintain this position, and then to press while maintaining this orientation requires more stability than a regular press. And then after 5, repeating it on the other side. It is only a 15-pound kettlebell, but this movement isn't that easy. And even though the weight isn't that high, it taxes the muscles in the shoulder and the stabilizers in a unique way. And building that stability will carry over into movements that have the weight more balanced, if that makes sense. So if, for example, if you get really good at this, then regular shoulder presses will become a lot easier. So yeah, doing this for now. Probably gonna do one more combination of something before at the end of the video. Alright, so for the next set of movements, doing an anchored complex. So an anchor is essentially when you're holding a heavier kettlebell or just a heavier weight on one side and then doing something else with the other hand. It taxes the body in a unique way where one side has to stay rigid while the other one's performing whatever movement it might be. So in this case, I'm using a 32 kilogram, 70-pound kettlebell as my anchor and a 35-pound, 16 kilogram kettlebell as the kettlebell with which I'm going to perform the movement. So going to do a clean shoulder press to a step snatch. I'm going to do this 8 times. So it forces the body to have to stay fluid on one side while being rigid on the other. And stuff like that. So I lost my balance there essentially, you don't want to let that happen. And so doing stuff like this trains your balance and core in a way other movements don't. Switching sides. Now, with the 150-pound sandbag, I'm going to do alternating sandbag to shoulders from, I guess, a rack position or a sandbag rack position. So usually I would take it off the floor and put it on my shoulder. I'm going to bring it to waist level and then alternate shoulders from there for it's like 3 to 4 on each side. So yeah, I'm gonna do that for about 4 sets, and that'll be the end of the workout. So thought I'd finish off with a little bit of the posing sesh. Earlier in the video, I had mentioned that sandbag training has kind of gotten my core really dense, and at least to me, like these abs right here have become a lot more prominent ever since doing sandbags. And also a lot of sandbag training is very cardiovascularly intensive, and I think as a result, there's the cardio aspect of things while also having the core activated that kind of tends to give a really good ripped look, in my opinion. But yeah, just a really quick physique check / posing sesh. So yeah, while doing a lot of functional training, essentially all functional training, I'm still able to maintain aesthetic proportions. And yeah, one doesn't necessarily mean, not doing any specific bodybuilding training doesn't necessarily mean that aesthetics have to give way, and still doing quote-unquote functional training. So yeah, anyway, I don't want to say anything that I can't follow through with, but I do want to get to a more regular upload schedule. So yeah, let's see what ends up happening. That's all for today's video. See you all in the next one.